After the war, the Nazis the master race. The history books, they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who die.
Hello everyone, you bumheads. Yeah, I'm doing Normal Island. So, you know. My camera is disabled? What do you mean you encountered a fucking error? Behave yourself.
Are you able to make sure that we're in the scenes? Obviously you won't be able to do Kevin yet until he arrives, but...
I'll try my best.
Why is it? Hang on.
Here's Kevin.
Ah, has he arrived? Excellent. Sorry, I can't see because my, I'm on the script section at the moment. Right, so I've got that. If I copy that into the teleprompter software, can I put it over the top of me?
What the fuck is
Should be
going on?
able to get myself on camera now. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Need to switch up the camera. Oops, probably.
What?
Cool. Alright. Oof. Ooh, I look rough. Okay.
No, you don't.
I definitely do.
I think I'm.
I look half drowned. Also, this thing
You
is sitting out
don't.
on my ear, really annoying me the way
Can
this
I say
just
actually would
pokes
never
out.
have noticed it until you said something.
And then I fucked it. Yeah. It just springs out on my ear. It's really annoying, and I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it so it doesn't do that. I'm just
Right.
gonna try bending the wire the other way, see if that helps. Or it might mean that my audio doesn't work for the rest of the show.
Your camera looks sick. Because the
Yeah.
teleprompter's not in front of it.
Well, what it is I'm not using the one that's really meant for recording. I'm using the
Yeah.
one that's I'm using the one that we've got, the kind that we've got.
This one, this
better.
looks really good.
Yeah, it looks much better, I think. Right, okay, so I've got to sort out the graphics as well.
What? There we go. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Technical problems, you understand?
So,
Oh, here's Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
Hello. How are
Hello.
we? Apologies. Yeah, my
No, it's all good.
technical problems. You know.
yeah, me too.
Yes.
Oh, like a billion of them. Right, let me just... I'm just trying to sort stuff out. Curtis was on Navarra, so I've been left hanging, basically.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. Ooh.
Fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally don't know what I'm doing. I just fucking winging it every time.
Right, chat.
I
Chat,
literally
you
don't know
can
what I'm
give me.
doing.
You can give me
I
money,
think I
chat.
did it, but
I've muted myself briefly just so I can say give me money. Although I do need to turn off the noises. Hang on.
wow, Kevin looks really HD. Kevin,
Yeah.
Oh, hang
Yes.
on.
Hello.
have you changed your camera?
No. No. It's
Yeah.
if it looks better, it's just
That's-
I don't know. Accidental. Well, thank you. You're incorrect, but thank you. I appreciate
Oh, it
that.
looks great. Like I don't know.
Also-
like, maybe I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my eyes today.
It's
Everything's so
plain white tea gang. I love
Yeah,
it.
maybe that's what it is. I think it's the white t-shirts actually.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like yeah. You can't argue that we're not being too white tonight.
Yeah, I know, right? This
yeah,
is,
oh my God.
We're in dangerous territory.
Should I was thinking maybe putting the hood
Have
on,
you turned
but
off
that
the
might be too
noises?
much. What do you
Yeah, I
reckon?
don't know. Maybe wait till I leave.
Yeah.
Joking.
Incredible. Hang on. So, right, I'm going to test out. There's teleprompter software on my computer, and I just want to see if it will work
Yeah.
with the screen that I've got, just to see if I can use that tonight.
And
'Cause
I've
that
got
will be easier.
I've got to remember to call you Ben and not Cog because that is not your fucking
It's
name.
hard. I
It doesn't
switch
matter.
between the two. I'm like Cog
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Most people aren't worried. Don't worry
Yeah.
about
So
it.
anyway, the current situation in Iran, cognitive society. You know, like
Yeah. I know, right?
it's a bit much.
Where's the teleprompter bit?
Hang on a minute. What are we doing? There we go.
Is that?
Oh, hang on. Shit. Hang on. Ooh. It would help, I think.
Remote controller.
There we go. All right.
Probably. You're kidding.
What's the hum? That would be my fan chat. Not that I have like a person supporting me. I mean, like I've got a desk fan because it's warm. Not that the weather's warm, but my old shit computer kicks up a lot of heat.
I forgot that you're live and people could see and hear what we're saying, and I'm just talking shit about Curtis going on Navarra. Oops.
It's okay. You can find another job. It's fine.
Yeah, I know, right? Might have to now.
Be alright.
He's abandoned us.
I still did a KKK joke, and I knew I was live.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh shit.
You know.
Okay, maybe there isn't a teleprompter. I thought there was a teleprompter on this thing, but there's not. So I'm just gonna have to wing it and use my mouse.
Listen to the teleprompter in your heart. Yeah.
I know that's roughly the plan anyway.
Can you hear me chewing?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
Can you hear my brain hurting?
Yes.
Maybe the software needs an update, but I can't be bothered to work it out now, so I'm just gonna scroll like a.
Weren't we supposed to start 4 minutes ago?
Yes, we definitely were. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in no rush. I'm just saying, like, you know.
I've got to
Oh, I
still
do count down.
stick some stuff in. Wait, Sarah, hang on. Sorry, I've got to stick some stuff into the script before we do, because I'm missing a graphic because of what I was talking about before.
I know writers
Unless I
who
go
use
live and then no
subtext, and they're all
countdown, yeah?
cowards.
No, because I've got to add it in, and I hate
Oh, yeah,
using.
true.
I personally hate using the studio mode.
So do I. We're glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, studio mode is not the one. Okay, so that's in the wrong place.
I've decided I want a career change, and I'm gonna do a florist like course thing. I want to be a florist.
Okay.
And I'd like you guys to support me in my endeavours, and we should use the Turn Left pot to help me fund it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Honestly, I think that business idea could really grow.
It's probably a
Is
better
that-
use of our time than the
That's
current
a really.
use.
I actually agree with you, Kevin.
No, I was just doing a joke about
Yeah.
plants.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Sorry.
that was good. That was good.
Sorry, I'll just leave.
Oh.
Come on now.
Oh.
Oh, that was
Okay,
good.
right.
I just got that one.
Honestly, I'm a budding comedian.
No, I just got the leave one. Leave. That was good. I will say that was good.
Well, again, you are incorrect, but very nice. Thank you.
Oh. Take a while to understand these jokes.
Yes. Okay, so. I'm not going to be using my hands much because one of them's going to be on the mouse because I haven't found a way to control it using my remote yet.
Hurry up, Cog. You blooming idiot.
I know, right?
Stop! You're now taking the piss out of my future career.
Sorry.
I didn't even get that when you said it. I was like, yeah.
I'm,
Okay,
I
right.
actually think Kevin did it twice because he
Oh.
thought that it was we missed it the first time, but I just ignored it the first time, Kevin.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Petal. Yeah, thank you.
Incredible.
Petal.
Shit! I pulled the fucking microphone out. Bollocks. Not microphone, headphone. There we go. Ugh.
Are you sure about that?
Oh wait, I can upload more than one at once. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Okay. Load those. Then I should have. There we go. Final graphic.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Where are we going? Garbage
Keeping it
Island.
stressful. I love it when Lewis hosts because it sets the bar for the rest of us so that we
The bar is so low. Like he'll be like, sorry guys. Like,
Oh, we should clarify in terms of being late. Lewis is a brilliant host in
Oh,
terms
Lewis
of
is
like his
amazing.
reading and
We'll get
everything.
late Lewis.
But like
Yeah,
in terms of bit lateness, like that's what we're
Too
talking
late.
about.
Too late. We're cutting that bit out. We're
Yeah,
just
so
gonna
we should cut that bit and make it seem like we think Lewis is shit. Lewis is great.
just
Lewis
be.
is amazing.
What was that?
I hate bugs. There's like a little
Oh.
what are they called? Those little midgies.
Landlords.
Hey.
12. Cool, you can tell which one I did because it's well out of peak with the rest of them.
Okay,
However,
Cog. You know,
given-
I said I wasn't in a rush. Like, I did mean like this year.
New footage out from an
I've been trying to get in touch with Francesca actually to try and get her on the show.
That would be
I don't-
amazing. I think she's incredible.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Also, she called Cenk Uygur a bitch to his face, which was funny.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off the graphics 6. Okay. 2 on the graphics 6.
Shall I tell you a story whilst Cog is doing his thing?
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm pretty open about my job now, so I don't think anyone I'm not really fussed that people know that I'm a teacher. So basically, one of the kids was like, "Can I do the starter and pretend to be you?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, go ahead." And then he was like,
Hopefully, you didn't say literally "fuck it." Yeah, go for it.
No. I was like, no, go ahead. Insert name here. And then he was like, "Okay, right, so, okay, right." So,
Oh no! Absolutely rinsed you. No way.
And then he said, "So guys, which option do you think it is?" Apparently I talked so fast.
Oh, that's a burn. Oh
And
no.
Creased. I was like, "No way, guys! Do I talk that fast?"
You
like,
just assaulted me.
So
Here, hey everybody, this is.
Oh, that's no jokes.
His name is Andy Ogles. No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck
And
off.
he's a Trump supporter.
Well, naturally,
Yeah.
yeah. But they let you
Yeah.
ogle when you're famous.
Literally, yeah. Like, these people are just, yeah. We live in like a Cat in the Hat cartoon. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And
Like
of
Dr.
course,
Seuss.
there's, Dave McRapist from Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I shouldn't have rushed.
Yay. Cool. We'll get going as soon as we can.
It's alright, this is Let Them Eat Cake, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the
okay,
show.
okay.
That's the
Good,
show
good,
name.
good,
Cool.
good.
You're hosting, so I hope you've got something ready. Superb.
And, yeah,
Thanks.
and Mike Stutchbury will be along any second.
Exactly.
Pour one out. I don't know why I said pour one out. He's not dead, but he's an OG. Pour one out for Mike.
I hope he's not dead. I hope he's all right.
No, last time I heard he was alive and kicking. Yeah.
Good. Video 5 goes before graphic 12. Cool.
Yeah, if we just start at 8 and just say that's when we were meant to start. We've never started at 7:30.
What?
We've always been at war with East Asia. I don't know.
The third time in the past week, people.
It's loud. Oh, by the way, Sarah, how are our levels at the moment?
Is the talk Kevin?
No.
How's that?
Okay.
Oh, burn. Talk, Kevin? No, perfect.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, equal
Brutalized. Video 5 comes before graphic 12. Okay, cool. Just got to make sure these are in the right place. Otherwise, when Sarah reveals them, they will not be in the right order, which has happened to me when I've been producing and hosting before.
No, Fogel,
So,
you were around.
I would rather not have that happen.
You were around in the Let Them Eat Cake days.
Okay.
Ready?
Shit, that's
Jesus.
mad.
Yeah, I look like a real mess.
You
Fuck.
don't. It's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
I always mute the music like in the corner with the volume. You know that speaker thing in the corner.
Yeah.
The
Did you
music's
put
too
yourself
much
in the
for me.
comment section?
Oops.
You can go into studio mode and do it. Yeah. Cool.
Oh no, I'm already in the scene.
Yeah.
But I produced on Wednesdays.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool. Is Kevin in the scene?
Yeah, I put Kevin in the scene.
Would be a bit embarrassing if
Yeah, he
Kevin.
is.
Yeah.
I could put him in there.
Nah, it's alright, it's fine.
I'll put you in there, Kev. Don't worry.
It's all good.
Right, let's do countdown. I don't want to stay in studio mode. Live version. Silence the music.
Thank fuck for that.
No, you'd have to silence it on your end. I can only silence it on mine.
Well, I haven't got. I can't hear anything.
Oh, it'll start in 15 seconds.
Oh, there you go. Oh, for fuck's sake. How do I do it?
You know that little speaker thing on top? It says, like, it's got the little volume
Oh,
button.
live preview. There you go. But now I can't hear you.
No, you can still hear me.
Oh no, I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we just don't have to listen to it.
Thank fuck for that. It was awful.
No, because I genuinely, after a long week at work, the last thing I want is.
True.
Yeah, it's too much. Okay.
Oh yeah, in terms of the third story, Ben, there's no like major news in the last 10 minutes or anything, is there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And our chat will tell us if there is.
Yeah,
That'll be fine.
presumably. So basically, the paradigm remains, and so what I had to say remains what I have to say.
Yeah, probably pretty much. To be fair, it's been unchanged more or less for the last like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it's unlikely anything was to have happened in the last hour that makes it okay to do war crimes. Actually.
Yeah.
Actually, what the thing Donald Trump tweeted out makes it okay that they bombed that school full of girls. It's fine. Yeah, wonderful.
Oh no, that was those were actually cold bodies in storage, according to Oz. What's his name?
Kataji,
yeah. Just
why would they need to use frozen bodies when they've got actual bodies that they're digging out from rubble?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make more sense to have a fresh body than not? I don't know. But anyway, or we could just say they definitely did bomb it because they obviously bombed it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Occam's razor and all that.
Indeed, yes.
Hello. Welcome to our Normal Island show. It is lovely to see you all, as usual. And I've always sort of been told that generally if you've got quite pale skin, you shouldn't wear a white t-shirt because it sort of washes out your face. But both me and my guest tonight have made that exact mistake. Kevin is my guest tonight. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm very well, thank you very much. I'm feeling very washed out and ghost-like right now.
Me too. Yeah, it's a bit of a hectic one with the news. So basically, what I've tried to do, rather than doing specific stories breaking news, I'd say these are all sort of like clumps of stories. I'm sure you've noticed looking through what we're going to look at. It's like clumps of news, trying to sort of make sense of the world by grouping it into bite-sized bits. And we've got 3 of those bite-sized bits coming up on the show. Thank you for joining me. I'd said that like Kevin was going to leave. I don't know why I did that. He's not gone for good. That was Kevin's contribution to the show. No. I just want to say, coming up, we have a story that rape charges against IDF soldiers have been dropped by the IDF. A story about lies, hit and runs, the Islamophobia wave that seems to be hitting the West, and, of course, the Iran war is pulling the West underneath the water to drown alongside the Iranians. Remember that you can help us grow by visiting turnleftmedia.co.uk/support to help fund our work, or by becoming a YouTube member. And with that, we probably should go on to our first story. So, on the 5th of July 2024, surveillance footage from inside Israeli prison Shtei Taiman showed soldiers using riot shields to create a wall around a Palestinian prisoner as they assaulted him. In the last few days, the Israeli military has decided that enough people have stopped paying attention and they can drop the charges and let the soldiers get away with it. When Francesca Fiorentini was still working for TYT, she reported on the story in a way that summarizes quite well and avoids us having to watch the whole footage.
Allegedly raped a Palestinian detainee at a facility where there has been rampant abuse documented by the New York Times and others, called Shtei Taiman. You might have remembered it because a couple weeks ago, mobs of Israelis actually raided the facility in order to defend any soldiers from facing accountability for their actions against those detainees. But more about the footage, we're going to show you some stills from it. We won't show you the actual footage. But in it, you see detainees lying on the ground in gray suits, sort of in a row with surrounded by razor wire. And they're lifting up one of those detainees. They take him to a corner of what seems to be, the facility, a hangar, and they're wearing masks. And then 3 of them are holding their shields that they use supposedly in combat to actually shield what they are doing to this man, which, as we now know, included raping him. New footage out.
So, obviously for this story, I do want to give a content warning. I should have given that content warning at the start because, of course, we're going to have discussions of some quite graphic stuff starting from this next section. So the assault was not only partially caught on camera, but AP news sources confirmed that the victim was actually treated at a local hospital. The indictment said the soldiers assaulted the Palestinian prisoner and sodomized him with a knife, causing multiple injuries. A medical staff familiar with the case, who spoke on condition of anonymity out of fear for his safety, said the detainee arrived at a civilian hospital in life-threatening condition with blunt trauma to the abdomen and the chest and fractured ribs. He said the detainee underwent surgery for a perforated rectum and was released back to Stay-Taiman days later. The Associated Press has investigated allegations of inhumane treatment and abuse at Stay-Taiman and predate those in the surveillance video. So there's no case to say, oh, they didn't know, they didn't do it, or there wasn't enough evidence. The Israeli military once again investigated themselves and found that they'd done nothing wrong. And importantly, the Associated Press there are confirming that last line, that it's part of a wider pattern of abuse at Stay-Taiman, which is a military prison camp, right? It's set up particularly to hold Palestinian prisoners. It's a concentration camp by definition, because a concentration camp is a place where people that the state or the ruling regime at the time don't like are held in confinement. The particularly jarring point is that the chief military prosecutor, Jifat Tomel Jerusalmi, had to resign before the investigation concluded. Why? Because she released footage to the public, which was seen as obstructing the investigation. As do Standard reports, in her resignation letter, Toma Jerusalmi accepted responsibility for forwarding the video. She stated that she had agreed to its release because she wanted to, quote, counter the false propaganda against the military justice system. She is now accused of obstructing the investigation. So before you start feeling sorry for her, she was actually trying to say that they didn't do it and try to get them off the hook. And this man with a perforated anus was sent to a hospital for completely unrelated reasons, even though we have footage of him disappearing behind an Israeli shield wall, and it's been confirmed that he was hospitalized for a perforated anus. Perhaps worse than the people in denial about that, about what took place, though, or looking to sort of cover it up, as I guess you could accuse many of them of attempting to do, are the people who say that it did happen, but actually it was fine. According to an Al Jazeera article from August last year, on being asked by Ahmad Tibi, one of the Arab MPs within the MKs it should be, within the Israeli Knesset last week, if it was legitimate to insert a stick into a person's rectum, Hanuk Midvilsky, a member of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ruling Likud party, responded, if he is a Nukuba, a Hamas militant, everything is legitimate to do. Everything. So that's in direct response to being asked whether it's okay to rape somebody. They say, oh, well, if they're a Hamas militant, anything goes. And this is part of a wider pattern of sexual violence against the 10,863 plus Palestinian prisoners being held in Israeli detention. In January, B'Tselem, the Israeli human rights organization, released a report called Living Hell, showing that 81 prisoners had died in Israeli custody, and that, quote, testimonies from released prisoners indicate a grave pattern of sexual violence in detention facilities and prisons, beatings to the genitals that cause severe injuries, setting dogs on prisoners, and forced anal penetration with various objects. And by the way, that's not including all the other types of violence listed in that report, like starvation, denial of medical care, leading eventually in some cases to amputation, and shocking them with electricity, all of which is well documented by B'Tselem and other human rights organizations. this Palestinian man, Mohammed Abu Talibay, Tuwala, told a B'Tselem field researcher that when the Israelis detained him, they, quote, put out cigarettes on my body, poured hydraulic acid on me, and burned my back with a lighter. Because of the burns, I lost sight in my left eye, and you can see the damage those burns have done to him on his left eye and other parts of his face if you zoom in on that image. So this isn't a one-off case or a case of like a few bad apples. It's a widespread phenomenon inside the Israeli detention system, and this only corroborates the victim's story from the case that we started with in 2024. So Kevin, what is wrong with Israeli society that you've got some top lawmakers and protest movements, I didn't mention that, but protest movements arguing that Israeli concentration camp guards shouldn't be charged for literally raping a Palestinian prisoner?
Yeah, it's difficult to know quite how to respond to all of that information, really. I just want people to take a second to just really let it sink in that we are told that the IDF is the most moral army in the world, and yet you can absolutely 100% state that they sodomized somebody with a knife. That's a sentence. Just let that pour over you for just a second. Take that in. This is what we're being told from our apparently military ally in Israel. There is something deeply rotten at the core of Israeli society that goes far beyond just political structures, because we've known for quite a while that Zionism is wrong, both morally and sort of practically, in a number of key ways. Obviously, you have the settler colonialist element, the expansionist element of it. You have the genocidal intent, which of course has been laid out in Gaza in stark graphic detail for quite some time. But the underlying kind of premise of all of this is an ethnic supremacism, which is at the core of all ethnic nationalism, all ethno-nationalist states, be it Nazi Germany or apartheid South Africa or wherever. It's the idea that there is an in-group that can do no wrong and an out-group to which no wrong can be done, because they're essentially not being seen as human beings. And we've literally had, at the very start of the war following October the 7th, you literally had members of the Knesset saying that the Palestinian people were human animals. Well, if they're animals, you can slaughter them then, can't you? That's a thing that's allowed. And so this is the way that Israeli society has been set up, because of, again, the ethnic supremacism at the very core of it. And like all ethnic supremacist states, it needs to be smashed. It can't be reformed. It can't be gently evolved into something better, because the very core of that entire society is poisoned by this ethnic supremacism. It goes from the political infrastructure to the policing to the political parties, all of whom, basically, outside of the Arab nationalist parties, are ethnic supremacist, Jewish supremacist parties, all of them. The idea that a non-Zionist party would ever become the leader of Israel is basically unthinkable. They teach it all in schools as well, to the point where we have seen the genocide that they have engaged in Gaza, and overwhelmingly the Israeli people support that. The only reason you've seen any protests is not because of the savagery that's been inflicted upon the Palestinian people, but because Benjamin Netanyahu wasn't bringing the hostages home quick enough. Which, of course, was never the point, because it was about having a long, prolonged war to keep him out of jail, right? That entire society is corrupted from top to bottom. We literally saw it in the Maccabi Tel Aviv scandal, or whatever you want to call it here in the UK. Literally, you have a football team full of, or a football fandom full of violent lunatics who sing songs about raping people. This isn't something that's just a few bad apples, or even a few bad elements within the IDF. It's within Israeli society. The fact that I think it's pretty obvious that Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government to some capacity. The fact that we know that so many people who are convicted of or accused of sexual assault are happy to go and live in Israel and are accepted by the Israeli state, as long as they're Jewish, of course, because that's the whole point, ethnic supremacism. It is a society riddled with violence. And at the core of it, it goes down to the fact that they've opened a Pandora's box of immorality. Once you have accepted that genocide is fine, by comparison, what's a little bit of sodomizing somebody with a knife? What's rape compared to genocide? What's the occasional piece of brutality by the police, even against Israeli citizens, compared to genocide? Once you've accepted that as your moral standard, then basically anything goes. And that entire society, it seems to me, has become a sink of moral depravity. And it can't be reformed. It needs to be completely overhauled.
Yeah, I do. I honestly, I think I fully agree. I was thinking about Isaac Herzog, who's supposed to be like the equivalent. He's part of the Israeli Labour Party, so he's supposed to be sort of the equivalent of our Labour Party. And like, I don't get me wrong.
Well, he was. I don't think he is anymore, actually, but he was. The leader
is he?
Yeah, I think so.
But still, the fact that he can be in the Israeli Labour Party is, I don't know. It's just a bit. It's a bit like having. I don't even want to compare him to Nick Griffin, because it's like it's worse, because Nick Griffin hasn't actually like endorsed and carried out a genocide, as far as I know.
Although he would. That's a matter of opportunity. I'm sure he would give him a chance.
It's probably more an opportunity thing, to be honest, with Nick Griffin. But you know, like. I mean,
also, Isaac Herzog's an interesting case, of course, because his father was from Northern Ireland, and it just goes to show you the pluralistic nature of Northern Ireland, that they can create religious extremists that are non-Christian as well.
Yes, yeah, a lot of religious extremism coming out of that part of the world. And I say as somebody partially from Ireland. I was going to ask.
I'm an Irish citizen, mate. I can say it. It's allowed. It's allowed. Yeah.
I didn't know you were. So like, I was going to ask how you fix such a society, but just like it's like you say, you can't overhaul it.
Yeah, no, you can't evolve it. You have to overhaul. You have to completely go in and root and branch change things. Because I think part of, a good example, and of course I'm going to be accused of anti-Semitism here because they're going to accuse me of it for criticising Israel anyway. But if we take the comparison of Nazi Germany, the fact that the Western powers did not denazify large parts of the infrastructure of West Germany definitely led to some of the nastier elements within German politics, and indeed is part of the reason that the far right has been able to re-establish itself, because they didn't root and branch, get rid of the filth that had proliferated in the corners of German society. And of course, in the East, they also didn't do that particularly well, although I would argue they did it significantly better and more thoroughly. And Israeli society would have to go through a similar, essentially, denazification, because let's be honest, that's what they are. That's what they are. Yeah. That is what they are doing. They are ethnic supremacists. The only difference, they're engaged in a genocide. They are expansionist. They want Lebensraum in the greater Israel project. The only difference is, of course, the target of their particular thing, because the target is different. The people they want to shift off of the land that they see as rightfully theirs are a different ethnic group. But fundamentally, they're no different.
Yeah.
They've become the very thing that they have used as an excuse for far too long.
True. Although it's worth, of course, always remembering when they use that excuse that like Zionism is older than the Nazi regime. It dates back many years before the Nazis even existed.
And one of the genuinely extra terrible things, obviously, of course, the genocide and the war and the expansionism and the ethno-nationalism and all of that of the Nazi regime, was one of the outcomes of that is that it completely changed the bulk of Jewish opinion politically, because prior to the Holocaust, most Jewish people hated Zionism, couldn't stand it. The idea was ridiculous. They were integrated into society in Poland or Germany or America or indeed even in Palestine or wherever. And they didn't want to have like a Jewish state. That seemed a ridiculous notion to them. Actually, most of them were communists, which not to play into Marxist cultural Marxism memes there, but a lot of them were communists or socialists of some variety. After the Holocaust, understandably, they went, fuck this. We can't live here. The ones that had survived went, fuck this, we're going to have to go somewhere else. And unfortunately lent weight and credence to a movement of ethnic supremacism and expansionism in other people's territory.
Yeah. I have always been
so the never again became except for us.
Yeah, I have always been sort of like nervous of the fact that like British people aren't, to sort of analogize with our sort of like educational perspective. I have always been nervous of the idea that British people haven't been taught that like, you know, the Nazis were bad because of their ethnic supremacism, but rather have been taught the Nazis were bad because they were on the other side. They were just our enemies. They were, it was because they were taking territory from the Empire, or that they challenged us in war. That was the real problem. That wasn't actually the real problem. Like, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't expand, you shouldn't invade other places, but that's part of a wider picture, and the wider picture is what you always need to keep an eye on. They're not bad guys because they're not us. They're bad guys because of the things that they were doing, if that makes sense.
Well, true, and one of the main reasons, of course, that doesn't get taught is because Britain was not necessarily as genocidally racist, although it depends how far back you go, but at the time we're also doing massive amounts of racism in places like India and Kenya and various other places across the world, and had been for centuries. And literally, America, similarly, one of the reasons it didn't want to join the League of Nations before the Second World War was because the League of Nations wanted to enshrine ethnic and national equality, so that there would be no privileged status for any particular race or ethnicity or religion, and they weren't going to have that, because under those rules they'd have to stop killing native people or interning Japanese people or whatever, and they weren't going to have that. Because unfortunately, as much as we can criticise Israel, and indeed we should, and I've just have, we need to also sort of look inwards for manifestations of this kind of thinking as well, because any step down that path is bad. However far you are, we can say, well, we're not doing the genocide. Well, firstly, yes, we are. We are literally actively engaging in that, and indeed engaging in a war against Iran, and have helped arm and fund the Saudi Arabians to do exactly the same in Yemen, and so on and so on and so on. We think of ourselves as a much more tolerant nation, and actually, as the second story we're about to get onto, I think we're not as tolerant as maybe we like to pretend we are.
Yeah, I would like to think generally that most people in Britain would recoil at the idea that a British soldier could rape somebody and get away with it.
Except, of course, that we know that has happened many, many times on British bases, and it's been covered up by the leadership of the army as well. Yeah.
That is true, but I feel like your average Brit probably wouldn't defend that, whereas I think your average Israeli might.
Because unfortunately, like I say, they've been sort of brought up from a young age in an ethnic supremacist culture, ethnic supremacist education and media and policing, and they all have to go and serve in the IDF, which of course inculcates them in that exact culture. And so the vast majority of Israeli society does end up supporting these evil things, not because they're intrinsically evil people, but they have been raised in that system. Literally, if you go back to, again, the Nazi analogy, the children that came of age in the Nazi education system were much more likely to have Nazi opinions because they'd been inculcated as children into that system. And Israel's been going long enough now that if you are under the age of 70, you were brought up in that system. So naturally it will have bled into your psyche, into your soul, into your actions and beliefs.
Yeah, yes, we're all prisoners to our circumstances to some degree. Some people break free. You've got organisations like B'Tselem doing like really good work.
Amazing groups of people who are doing active resistance to being called up to the IDF, who will happily burn their papers and face imprisonment for it. Yes. And that's a very noble and beautiful thing to have done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But they are unfortunately few and far between. We should go on to our second story, though. Thank you for that, Kev. So, in terms of our second story, we need to have a serious conversation about the rising Islamophobia in Britain and America in particular. It is getting worse. I'm sorry, but I really do think in the last few weeks there has been a ramping up of the normalization of just hating Muslims. It's becoming more rampant and mainstream, and it's culminated in some horrific events that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. Now, viewer discretion is advised again for this story, and particularly the videos in this story. We can just start with a couple of stories from the last 24 hours. The journalist and founder of Zeteo News, Mehdi Hassan, put out a tweet in response to air traffic control cuts and a plane crash video saying, "Make American planes crash again." Might not have been the wisest thing to have said because it can sort of be easily misinterpreted as an endorsement, but the point that Mehdi was making there was that air traffic control had been cut back so much that it was leading to disasters like this plane crash, and that was entirely the fault of the Trump administration, who, of course, used the slogan, Make America Great Again. And in response to that, right-wingers edited the tweet to make it look like Mehdi had put it over footage of 9/11. Now, I can still hear that. Sorry. Now, I put the text at the bottom. I didn't want to cover the video because I wanted you to know what was going on, but I put the text at the bottom so that this can't be clipped out of context and it looked like Mehdi Hasan, we're saying that was what Mehdi Hasan did. We want to be absolutely clear. Mehdi Hasan did not say that, and Mehdi Hasan, in fact, responded on Twitter to that tweet saying, "This is a fake tweet. I posted those videos as a sarcastic take on the plane crashes on Trump's watch after he slashed air traffic controllers. I posted it over news of yet another crash. I never posted it with an image or video of 9/11. You've just invented this tweet to smear me." And it isn't helped, I think, by AI's inability to target misinformation and seek out key details. Lots of the replies were asking Grok to fact check, not realizing that Grok can't prioritize misinformation in the form of implied subtext. So Grok was giving long-winded answers that began with, yes, Mehdi Hasan, US-based British journalist, ex-MSNBC Zateo, posted exactly Make American Planes Crash Again on X. And then, after multiple paragraphs, which usually would add at the bottom, the video edits in unrelated 9/11 footage. This original post was just text, no imagery. It's good that Grok does actually fact check, but most people will see the first line and assume that it's true because the response is affirmative, right? Grok doesn't know truth value. Grok can't prioritize. It's just a data output machine. This is why you need real human fact checkers and researchers who can read subtext. Otherwise, Islamophobia becomes normalized with fake news. What exactly do you think whoever made that video wanted the audience to think of Mehdi as a British American Muslim? They wanted to deceive people into hating Mehdi Hasan, who I think is one of the most impressive journalists that we have anywhere in the world right now. US Republican Congressman, on another note, Andy Ogles, has been escalating his hatred of the Muslim community in recent weeks. Yesterday, he tweeted, "Name one country that is freer and safer because Muslims move there." And 3 days ago, he tweeted, "Muslims don't belong in American society. Pluralism is a lie." Now, needless to say, if this had been tweeted about any other minority, say Jewish people, for example, Ogles would be being subject to an investigation, and calls for him to resign would be rampant throughout both the right and the left. More so on the left, probably, and more so in the liberal centre. Imagine if he had tweeted, for example, "Jews don't belong in American society, pluralism is a lie." He would rightly be condemned for that. But Andy Ogles took over $70,000 from Zionist groups and backers, according to AIPAC Tracker, surmised from FEC data. So Andy knows which minority groups to demonize. He's paid to do it. Just over a week ago, Ogles also put out this video.
Here. Hey everybody, this is Congressman Andy Ogles. I want to give you a quick update. I've dropped a bill. Quite frankly, it's a Muslim ban. What we've seen across Europe is a wave of crime and criminal enterprise. London, Paris, Rome. We've seen it across Europe. I literally was with leaders from across Europe, and one of the things they talked about is that they are losing their countries to mass Islamic Muslim migration.
Okay, so European here, with multiple family members and friends living in different European countries. You're full of shit, Andy. I'm in the UK, and I don't have to listen to a single Islamic custom. We're not being subject to a wave of crime and criminal enterprise. Crime has actually fallen significantly since the 1990s, when a lot of Muslim immigration began. We're actually in the month of Ramadan right now, where my Muslim friends are showing their devotion by giving to charity, volunteering at night shelters, giving back to the communities through sponsored fasts for charities from Mind to cancer research. And people like Andy aren't even worthy to clean their shoes, frankly. He's a pathetic politician who will end up losing his seat at the next election and lose his hairline in the build-up to that election when he sees what's coming for him. Sadly, in London, another incident was reported by Five Pillar News, where a young Muslim woman in her 20s was targeted in a hit-and-run attack on the 8th of March. I strongly advise viewer discretion on this one. I'm sorry to have to show you that. The woman, by the way, was rushed to hospital and miraculously didn't have any life-threatening or life-changing injuries. I don't know how, because you can see that that car hit her at quite a speed and she was swept off her feet. I should say that police have not yet assigned a motive to the attack, but there is a high chance, in my opinion, that Islamophobia played a role. Kevin, you and I have spoken about this for years, about Islamophobia for years. What do you make of the prevalence of Islamophobia in our discourse and just how normalized it's become?
I go back and forth on this topic because, again, like you say, we've spoken about this for years. And, you know, my mind goes back to things like the Ground Zero Mosque, and even before then you had the kind of rise of Islamophobia post 9/11 and the war on terror and all of that sort of thing. So this is no new concept at all, but it does seem more vicious than in the past. It was a lot of more rhetorical and kind of political game playing, whereas unfortunately now that we've seen a very significant rise in the far right in places like Europe and indeed clearly in America with the MAGA movement and their associated groups of shithouses. This is a much more spiteful and a much more dangerous time, I think, for Muslims and indeed for various other groups of religious minorities. And it goes to the sort of core fundamentals of what kind of living in a free society are supposed to be about. The idea that religious freedom is being sort of undermined or attacked in the ways that it is in various parts of the world, because it's not just in the West, of course. If you look at the attacks on Muslims in places like India, it's a cornerstone of any free society, these kind of religious freedoms, and people feeling not pressured in some way by violence or by the state or whoever to not practice their religion, because it's not necessarily sufficient for a free society, but it's impossible without it. And just to the kind of the tweet of Mehdi Hassan, I think I understand why you cautioned him against maybe using that kind of language or whatever, because it can be misconstrued by bad faith actors. But ultimately, we've got to bear in mind, this is the Trump base that are going to be reacting to this. The idea that Donald Trump, a man of such profound ignorance and racism and violence and just an all-round prick, is going to pearl clutch about a slightly imprecise use of language or a slightly less than perfectly clear joke about his terrible governance of the aircraft industry. It is. I'm sorry. I can't abide this. This is fucking hypocrisy on such a massive level. The selective probity that these people have into the way in which people personally conduct themselves, whether it's Donald Trump, where basically, and let's be absolutely honest here, Donald Trump is a child rapist. We know that that's true. We've seen the files from the Epstein drops. He absolutely is. He is up to his neck in that. We know that for an absolute fact, and I will not have any nonsense from Trump people claiming otherwise, because again, they're very much pro-rape, it seems. So, to have a movement of people supporting a child rapist, nitpicking about the specific wording of a thing, whilst also faking tweets based upon that, I'm sorry, these people are fucking vermin. They're just scumbags. I'm not going to take any lessons on morality or precise use of language from a Donald Trump, a man whose brain has melted many years ago and can't speak the language very well, even though he's trying to ban people because they can't speak the language very well.
Yeah, it's worth saying, like, they wouldn't have done this to somebody who looked like me or Kevin. Like, I genuinely don't think they would have done this. They're sort of hoping that their followers are ignorant enough that they see a brown guy and who's also a Muslim, and they'll just go, oh well, yeah, he obviously supports 9/11. He's obviously an Islamic extremist, and that is just it's. I feel particularly disgusted by it, perhaps because I don't think there's any shame in saying that I look up to Mehdi Hassan. I think he's an incredible journalist, like absolutely incredible, and just sort of has I guess you describe him as a trailblazer. I don't like using that term, but you know what I mean.
I think he could one day be good enough to be on Turn Left.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I think no, actually, I have contacted Zateo to try and like make contact with them, because that's how it's, you know, starts with every organization that we've worked with, you know, from the right to the left and all that. But I was going to ask, because I think it's important, it ties into the next story. How much do you think the disregard for Palestinian, and I'm going to add Iranian and Lebanese life here as well, in tandem with other factors, you know, not just that, but the international picture of the disregard for Palestinian life, Lebanese life, Iranian life, and things like the demonization of Muslims in grooming gang rhetoric. But let that aside for a moment. How much do you think that's played into the sort of like the prevalence of Islamophobia? Like, do you think that's ramping up, becoming more violent?
Oh yeah, the strain of white supremacism in Western culture is shown perfectly, I think, in the way in which we deal with migrants from, say, countries that we are at least now considered to be white, like Ukraine, with people from, let's say, Palestine or Syria or Libya, any of the war zones that exist in the world. But it's not only will the British government allow Ukrainians in, they will pay you to house them. Or they did at the time that the war was kicking off. Whereas if you're a brown person, they will do everything in their power, up to and including now apparently paying you £41,000 to fuck off. Literally, they're doing paid repatriation, which was a BNP policy 20 years ago. That's how much the far right have risen, that even the supposedly Social Democratic Labour Party are now putting forward such a policy. That treatment of an in-group, out-group, which I referred to in the ethnic supremacism of Israel, is also prevalent in much of Western culture, with essentially, if you're deemed white enough, you're allowed, you're a human being with human rights who needs to be treated decently. Whereas if you're a brown person, be it a Palestinian or a Lebanese or whoever, you're not. If you're Iranian, you can just get bombed, we don't give a shit. Whereas if you're a white person, even if you have hurt feelings, that needs to be taken into account. Like, it's the different ways in which we treat the in-group and out-group shows that strain of ethnic supremacism is in Western society to its core as well. And again, is another reason that we need to look inwards to fight these fascism, the rise of fascism, not just external threats as well.
Yes, yeah. What's the line from the song at the beginning of your show? They're taking over the boardrooms and
they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazis
died. Yeah, it's been in my head for ages. It's a really good song. Yes. Anyway, we should move on to our next story. By the way, before we do, actually, I should say I'd be very interested to get Sarah's take on that last story, because, of course, at the end of the day, we are two non-Muslim white guys discussing this. So I would like to hear Sarah take, particularly at the end, on that story, because Sarah is doing the producing for me at the moment. But before we move on proper, it's 2026, and we really want this to be a big year for Turn Left. We want to be more ambitious than last year, and to really get ourselves put on the map. We would like 2026 to be the year where we can have a studio and for our contributors to be paid for the work we do. And your support over the years has been amazing, and we are ready to take this to the next level. We do rely on small donations, so if you want to be part of a media organisation that seeks to destroy the oligarchs, then please head over to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support. There you can support us monthly on Patreon, or there is another link for a one-time contribution. You can also become a YouTube member for just 99p, or maybe somebody in the chat will gift you a membership. It happens quite a lot, and we have some lovely, very generous people. You guys know who you are. Thank you very much. So let's go on to our final story. We are becoming ever more embroiled in the war in Iran, and there are several developments that we all need to be keeping track of. Today, the Axis of Epstein, formerly known as the USA and Israel, struck a building near the Al-Quds. Near the Al-Quds. I'm going to start that again. Today, the Axis of Epstein, formerly known as the USA and Israel, struck a building near the Al-Quds Day March in central Tehran. According to Al Jazeera, Iranian state TV reported that at least one woman had been killed by the shrapnel, but we don't have further details at this time. Al Jazeera, however, did release this video.
For the third time in the past week, people have gathered in downtown Tehran at Enqilab Square, this time for Quds Day, an annual event to express support to Palestinians and also opposition to Israeli occupation. The event was first initiated in 1979 by Iran's then Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, and since then it has been observed every year in Iran and in several other countries. But this year, the situation is totally different. Over the past 2 weeks, Iran has been hit by a sustained campaign of airstrikes carried out by Israel and the United States. On the very first day of those attacks, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed alongside several senior military commanders, an event that dramatically raised the stakes. Since then, waves of strikes have left a trail of damage and destruction, even in many civilian areas. Red Crescent says 20,000 residential units have been partially damaged or fully destroyed, and the human toll continues to mount as war goes on. The escalation comes after another round of war Israel started 9 months ago back in June, followed by a period of increasingly heated rhetoric between Tehran and Tel Aviv. All of that is now fitting into the atmosphere here today. Emotions are clearly high as we speak to people.
Oppression always comes to an end. Injustice will disappear. God willing, we'll stay here until Israel is destroyed. We stand behind our leader. We've come to pledge allegiance to him.
And the demonstration happens as the airstrikes go on.
We are the nation of Imam Hussein, and we are here to show this. They think that by killing us we will be afraid, that by dropping bombs on our heads we will be afraid. No, we stand by our country.
The proud people of Iran have shown the oppressive and arrogant powers of the world that the wall of oppression can be broken. Today, with their presence in different squares, the people showed that it is possible to overcome injustice and break the wall of oppression.
For many in this crowd, this event is no longer just about expression of support for Palestinians, but also a show of defiance and resilience here at home. Toid Asadi, Al Jazeera, Tehran.
I think it's significant the buildings by the protest or march were being struck as people were walking by them. Now, allegedly, they did give warnings that they were going to be striking those buildings, but warnings don't make it better. If you're bombing near a protest, don't bomb near a protest. Don't bomb civilian areas. Don't bomb even military targets near civilian areas, especially when you know that in a city of 10 million people, there's going to be a big protest going on. There's so many things wrong with it, and the way that the US and Israel have acted. Now, yesterday, the new Ayatollah, Mojtaba Khamenei, swore that he would be opening new fronts, and that the pain for the Gulf states had only just begun. Mojtaba Khamenei lost his daughter and his father to American airstrikes, right? So this is personal for him. At the same time, it's believed that the Iranians have already laid mines inside the Strait of Hormuz, where a huge amount of global shipping has to pass through. Donald Trump has allowed the temporary purchase of Russian oil, which will fund weapons to bomb Ukrainians. And Zelensky has supported that because of his adherence to the Israel-US partnership. It's such a mess in terms of the alliances that are going on here. And the International International Energy Agency has urged countries to release their emergency oil reserves. Needless to say, that's not a good sign. The world is a few sunken ships away from a global recession right now, and Donald Trump's brain is a fine, smooth soup. So he didn't see this coming. In a panic statement on Truth Social just a few days ago, he said, If Iran has put any mines in the Hormuz Strait and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately in all capitals. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences for Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they removed what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. President Donald J. Trump. I do note, by the way, that at the end there, he puts his name in all capitals and he signs off every message. It's a very sort of boomer thing to do. But isn't that sort of a fascinating insight into Donald Trump's mind? He respects someone who threatens him and then negotiates, who lays the mine and then retracts them. It's why sucking up to him doesn't work. It's why he walks all over people like Keir Starmer. You don't suck up to him. You knock him back a few paces with a right hook and then shake his hand, because I'm talking metaphorically, obviously, because that's how he was taught to do business, always threatening and feinting to get people to back down. Good wrestlers who are standing in front of you don't just like let you come to them or go for a really obvious really obvious takedown. They feint. They'll do a tap on you. They'll feint and they'll dodge, and it's the same thing with people who do business deals. They're always feinting. They're always looking to try and shift their position so that it looks like they've got an advantage on you. Those are the people that Trump respects, and in order to trick him into doing what you want and negotiating with you, it is sometimes necessary to metaphorically feint at him. And this is where I'm at with Trump's threats to Iran more broadly, because if I was an Iranian official right now, I'm going to be thinking, we were negotiating with you and you bombed us. We were negotiating with you and you killed 160 schoolgirls and the people trying to rescue those schoolgirls. We were negotiating with you and you killed the Ayatollah's father and 14-month-old daughter. We were negotiating with you and you bombed our oil reserves, raining carcinogens down indiscriminately over the people of Tehran. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of children in Tehran that will die in their 20s and 30s because the US bombed the oil reserves and rained that carcinogenic sulfur gloop waste down on them. If I'm an Iranian official, right, the USA is using AI to target me and target the people I know indiscriminately, just indiscriminately carpet bombing parts of the capital city. Dead is dead if I'm that Iranian official. It doesn't matter whether it's a bullet or a missile or a nuclear warhead. You can ramp it up to the full. If I negotiate with you, you might still kill me anyway. That's the lesson that I'm learning from this. So what's the incentive for me not to wreck the global economy? Surely I have every incentive to do that, because it doesn't make any difference whether I disobey you or not. You're going to try and kill me anyway, because we were negotiating, and then you tried to assassinate, or rather, you did airstrikes against the Iranians. So what they're going to be thinking, shouldn't use I too much. What they're going to be thinking is, well, you tried to strike us when we were in the middle of negotiations. Why would I ever trust you again? It's a boy who cried wolf situation. Why should Iran negotiate with a negotiating partner that they just straight up can't trust, not to say, yeah, we're negotiating with you, and then bomb them? And I'm sorry to the right-wingers who egged this on, but we warned you not to do this, and you didn't listen. We warned you that the economic consequences of this would be devastating, and it looks like they're going to be. The problem is that intercepting missiles or drones or disarming mines is never going to be cheaper than laying mines or firing missiles or drones. You're always going to be able to pepper out more missiles and drones than you are missiles that are designed to intercept other missiles, or have teams that disarm mines quicker than people can lay them. It's just not going to happen. So that cost is escalating. I heard somebody say like $5 billion, I think the US had spent in 2 days of war. And it will quickly become too much for the production process. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a statement of support for the Iranian regime. The Iranian regime is nasty. They execute human rights advocates and brutally suppress the people inside Iran. But no one, good or bad, can negotiate with somebody that they can't trust to keep their word. it pays to build a reputation for keeping your word, and the USA is kind of finding that out the hard way. Now, Kevin, first of all, I just need a reality check more than anything right now. Am I being deluded in sort of my read of this, or is the American and British position basically like untenable? They can't negotiate with the Iranians when they've bombed them in the middle of negotiations. So I don't know where they go from here.
Well, yeah, it is difficult to see a way forward, and this is one of the reasons that making aggressive war is bad. It's why doing direct regime change, even against regimes that you don't like, it's almost like they didn't learn a lesson with Saddam Hussein. It has unfortunate consequences that you can't read, like getting rid of, say, the government of Afghanistan, only for the Taliban to take over and then inculcate Al-Qaeda, who do 9/11. It's the secondary knock-on effects that you can't really predict, or indeed, if you can predict, you can predict they're going to be bad. And secondly, it means that regimes have no reason to not seek nuclear weapons. Because you'll notice there's one country they're not bombing, North Korea. Why are they not bombing North Korea? Because North Korea has a nuclear weapon. They're not bombing Pakistan or India, even though there've been warlike complications there, because they have nuclear weaponry. It gives every reason for a country not to negotiate with you in general, but also to seek a nuclear weapon, because you've made it impossible for them to not do so in order to survive. You've seen from the example of Saddam Hussein in Iraq or Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, two countries that didn't seek a nuclear weapon, and as soon as it became convenient for Western countries, were happy to be overthrown. So any regime in that situation is, there's something on the microphone there. Okay, sorry, that was quite loud. You give regimes in that situation every incentive to not negotiate. But there are a couple of other points, I think, that need to be kind of elucidated, I think. Secondly, a kind of a theme of the show of kind of ethnic supremacism or undermining of people you don't really consider to be human. Is the example of them taking out Ali Khamenei, the former leader of Iran, and thinking that would just lead to the collapse of Iranian governmental structures and society. Why would it? Look, if you killed Donald Trump, it wouldn't collapse America. If you killed Keir Starmer, it wouldn't collapse Britain. They literally haven't learned the lesson from the thing they did where they illegally kidnapped Nicolas Maduro and his wife for some reason. And they expected Venezuela to just capitulate and collapse. And it didn't. Because that's not how it works. Like, you imagining Iranian people as, like, broken, two-dimensional losers, basically, where if you just take out that one dude, everything will fall. It's not how it works. That's not how any of these things fucking work. They clearly thought this was going to be a lot easier than it was. They thought it was going to be more militarily like the Iraq War, where they were able to take over relatively simply. But of course, that's not going to be the case. And they have the crux of the Straits of Hormuz, where something like a third of the world's oil and liquid natural gas go through. So Iran can just shut that down, or at least slow it down to a trickle, which is basically the same thing, and make it impossible for the world economy to function. And again, as you pointed out, Trump didn't seem to be aware of that. And you do have to wonder why the fuck he was not aware of that, when even the most basic analysis showed you that that's exactly the choke point they would use to financially cripple their opponent, if anyone ever attacked them. Because of course you would. If there's one thing that Iran has on its side, it's geography. Because they are going to be very difficult to do boots on the ground with, because it's basically mountains and deserts for the most part, so you're not going to take them over that way. And of course they have so many of those geostrategically massively important places very near to them that they can cause all manner of havoc without having to take you on the battlefield. They're essentially perfectly set up to do Vietnam too, and that might be what ends up happening if America and Israel don't back the fuck off very, very soon. But we'll wait and see on that point. And an allied point which you mentioned there, the fact that they've now eased sanctions on Russia to allow the purchase of Russian oil. Again, this I hate to say I was correct here, but I have to say to, unfortunately, the Ukrainian people, and more broadly to people who supported in a kind of overtly aggressive NATO kind of way, that we told you as soon as it became convenient to drop Ukraine, they would. because the West never gave a shit about Ukraine. It never did. Ukraine was there to be the anvil upon which Russia could be smashed. Forgetting, of course, that the anvil will be damaged too, of course, because it's the thing that's being, hammered upon. And so it's now becoming convenient, now that they've signed the deal for all the minerals. America's going to get all the minerals. There's no reason to bother anymore. So fuck Ukraine, basically. And as you pointed out, Zelensky is in an impossible situation because he's, to a degree, been put there by history and to a degree has been put there by his own actions of having to accept that that's the case. To accept that the main partner he's been relying on is now easing sanctions on the people that are bombing his nation. And allowing, therefore, Western money to go into the pockets of the Russian regime in order to continue to do that, and to do that more effectively. And do not be surprised in the slightest if within the next couple of years they completely drop Ukraine and Russia actually wins that war now.
It's so short-sighted. I mean, beyond just like the impact on the Ukraine-Russia conflict, because, or I should say the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, it's also the current conflict because, of course, Russia and Iran trade arms between each other. What do you think if Russia, starts producing more, producing more military stock because it's got more money because it can sell oil again? Where do you think that military stock is going to be sold to create like liquid capital outside of? Outside of like their own war effort, it's probably going to be traded to the Iranians.
But this is American foreign policy. The short-sightedness of it all, again, as with the example of Afghanistan or wherever, they create further problems for themselves down the line by entering these situations without thinking through the consequences. They did it in Iraq, they did it in Afghanistan, they're now doing it in Iran. If you have no exit strategy and you have no clear goal, really, because like. What is the goal here? Like, they already killed the Ayatollah and they just replaced him with another one, as they were always going to, because the king is dead, long live the king. That's what happens. The continuation of governance was always going to happen. And so what is the strategy here? What do they think they're going to be able to achieve? And how are they going to achieve it? I don't know. And ultimately, the American government don't know. So you have no clear aims, no clear strategy, and no clear end point, which means catastrophe. Just a clusterfuck from start to finish.
Yes. Yeah, the Iranian regime can obviously hold up quite well without the person at the top, as you say. Not sure about the British, though. I think we are thoroughly dependent upon Keir Starmer as our moral backbone. And we depend heavily on him. If Keir Starmer goes, I just don't know how we'll survive as a nation.
Have we thought about putting a house brick in his place? I think it would do a very good impression of him.
The thing is, most people are quite keen on house bricks, whereas Keir Starmer is such a uniting force in that everybody hates him so much that he brings the country together.
I mean, the British response to this, not that it's necessarily very important because we're not a big player in it, of course, because we're a pretend country where we're pretending to be a big, powerful... We're on the United Nations Security Council. Like, we're not, like, grandfathered in or anything ridiculous. Anyway, the British response to this has been very, very annoying because not only have we been actively engaged in the actual combat zone and allowing our bases to become targets, including in Gloucestershire, but other in places like Akrotiri and Cyprus and Qatar and various other places. But he's doing this annoying thing of saying we haven't joined the war when... Yes, we fucking have. Just because we're like a minor bit part player, we don't have the fucking forces to be able to be anything other than that. We had one ship that we had to desperately patch up to send sort of near the war zone. That's the best we can do, because we're a joke. Militarily, in terms of our power and our prestige and all the rest of it, we are nothing. We are trying desperately to pretend to still be a world power when it's obvious we're not. And we don't have the financial capability to even be so anymore. We're basically a ramshackle colander of a ship with nukes on it. That's it.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing, is like we can be used for like B1 B1 long range bombing, like that's all very well, and you can let the US exert their hard power through us, but the US is not going to be going to the next century. The US is not going to be the country with the most hard power, and so that kind of all falls apart. And I think like I think I've been saying this for some time. I must have said it to you before, but like I think with the rise of China, the stupidest thing that America has done and that Britain has done is lean on their hard power, because in terms of soft power, we could have influenced where the next century could have gone, but instead we decided to like put in place a geriatric soup for brains paedophile in the form of Donald Trump.
I was about to say, you're going to have to narrow that down. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, true. And that's where our country, and not only that, but I think worse than being the country led by that person is being the people who are deferent to the country led by that person. That's almost worse.
You made the point. Don't kowtow to him. He doesn't respect people who like grovel to him, and yet Keir Starmer is incapable of doing anything but that. And it shows you, the second you don't do exactly what he says at that point, he knows he can bully you. So now apparently he's tweeting out stuff like, oh, maybe we're not even allies anymore. Okay, get your fucking bases off our country then. Fuck off. But please, yeah, we're not your friends. NATO's over. Get your fucking military out of our country. Great, Donald. Yeah, you know what? That would be the best thing you could do for us. Please leave, you cock.
Yeah, yes, de-yankification,
yes.
As Helena's so fond of saying. I did just want to turn to the domestic, because I think it is important whenever leftists or Greens or whoever bring up this topic, the thing that's going on in Iran right now, we should always be bringing up cost of living and domestic policy, because that is where people are going to feel it. Like, people are probably not going to be embroiled in an actual like war with missiles going back and forth between Britain and Iran, hopefully, but we are quite likely to suffer awful price shocks and a collapsing global economy if things go really badly. So but why do you think that right-wingers are so determined to ignore the inevitable price shocks that will just worsen all of our lives? Because as far as I can tell, there's no political benefit to them. They're just handing political capital to Zach Polanski.
Because they're psychopaths. Straightforwardly, they're power-hungry, warmongering, racist scum. Is why they're doing this. The idea that Kemi Badenoch was going to have any other policy than, yay, let's bomb some brown people. Of course that was going to be a position. Like, conservatism used to mean something. Not necessarily something I agree with, but it meant things like an actually serious approach to the rule of law, even international law. It used to mean probity in public life, to some extent. Again, let's not lionize the past or rose-tinted glasses, but it meant something. The idea of being cautious. Don't just rush into things and fuck everything up. There's a reason, unfortunately, or many reasons, but there was a reason that the British Empire ran as long as it did, because conservative governance meant that they were planning for the next century, not just the next 10 seconds. Not just the next 10-second soundbite clip that you can put on TikTok and makes you seem like a hard bastard. Oh, but then it destroys the economy. Whereas now, conservatism is just... It's brain cancer. It's poison. It's just this toxic sludge of hatred and warfare and raw power. That's why there's no forward thinking here. Obviously, conservatives are going to jump on this bandwagon because they're addicted to war. They're addicted to feeling there's a rush that they get from this for some reason. And of course, it ends up really, really fucking poorly, as it always does. They learn nothing from Iraq. They'll learn nothing from this, and it'll happen again if we allow them to.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's just, yeah, it's really hard for me to wrap my head around, but you're probably right. It is some extremely dumb reasons that they're going ahead with this, and I just think every time we're on TV, every time we make an appearance anywhere, and by we I mean anybody left wing, we need to be connecting it back to cost of living, because that's how it's going to hit people. That's the impact it's going to have. We should go on to our comments section and bring in Sarah.
Sorry, my laptop is so laggy. My laptop was just lagging. But really great show. Thanks, guys. Loved it. Curtis literally just popped in and said, Oi, is my Kev behaving?
No, Curtis. No, Curtis. You can't be like, oh, I want to be on Navarra. Oh, now I'm going to turn up. No, fuck off. You're not welcome.
Exactly. That's what I said.
That is what he said. Check the VOD.
Yeah, I did.
That is funny.
Don't check the VOD.
But let's go on to this one, which I thought was quite funny. Turn left, defo, not turn up on time. Michael, that's so jokes.
Brutalized.
Literally.
You just assaulted me.
Be here. So just on to the first story there. Oh, actually, sorry, no. Sorry. Super chats. Sorry, I forgot the routine.
No,
so thank you so much, Steve MC81, who gifted 50 Turn Left memberships, which is 50. That's 50. So amazing. Yeah, Steve has done this before, so I see you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
God.
Honestly, Steve, you ever need me to like bury a body with you or something, or like
he's joking,
be your getaway driver in a bank job?
He's
I'm
joking.
just saying, mate. I'm just saying.
Michael, as ever, thank you so much for gifting a membership, and Andrina gifted 5 Turn Left memberships as well. Sly gifted 10 Turn Left memberships, which is really wonderful. So we get so many people who get to join our little wonderful community.
For 10, that's not a statement. I'd probably be a drug mule for 10.
Shut up! No. He's so funny. Not really Rachel Atwood said, this on the first story, some people who insist that rape was systemic on the 7th of October.
Same people who,
Same people. I actually read that wrong, sorry. I don't know what's going on with me. I thought my eyes were good, but not quite. Some people insist that rape was systemic on the 7th of October. So
when there's far less evidence that anything of the sort took place on that particular occasion, whereas this is obviously like verified. There's footage. Yeah. There's literally fucking footage of it, you know?
Yeah. There was a really weird comment made by someone that I'm so glad people muted him, talking about, I don't even think I can repeat it, but essentially just completely glossing over the fact that there's victims of rape, that there are victims of rape, and just try to make a mockery out of it. So whoever muted them, thank you. Subsystem Vids also gifted 50 Turn Left memberships. What? Subsystem does this often as well. Thank you, Subsystem.
Thank you.
Again, don't look, you'll have to like order a specific time slot for any crimes that I do on your behalf, because there are now several people who I've made that promise to. So you know, you don't want a double book on a burying a body.
It's got a Google Sheets page.
So I laughed so hard I had to mute myself. I laughed so hard when you said Axis of Epstein.
Oh yes, I got that from Kyle Kalinske. I can't claim the credit for that one, but that is what we should be calling them, the Axis of Epstein.
Well, I did hear someone call it Operation Epstein the other day.
Yes,
and let's be honest, like there is a genuinely grim element to this. That part of the reason this is happening, the part of the reason that Iranians are dying, part of the reason that American service personnel are dying, is to cover the fact that the President of the United States rapes children.
He is literally a convicted felon. Like, can we please get rid of these egotistical men who are in power that keep pressing these buttons about sending drones into other countries? Like, I literally, alongside so many other people, are probably just watching the world right now and spiraling into some sort of existential crisis. Like, I keep saying it, but I genuinely don't know what to even say anymore. I'm so lost with everything that's happening. I'm just sick of these fucking stupid idiots that sit in these offices. And you know what? Everyone who voted for Trump is a fucking idiot too. Like, I'm so unforgiving at this point. I don't care. You saw the evidence that was against Trump way back when he was running, and you still voted for that fucking decrepit idiot.
And of course the faux leftists who said he's the anti-war candidate.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that. So stupid. I literally said, I was saying from day dot, he's a war crimes enthusiast, and everyone was like, he hasn't committed any war crimes yet. I was like, are you fucking dumb? Like, are you dense? Are you really, really that dense? Wake up. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Genuinely, guys, I don't know what's going on with me. I can't sleep at night. I'm that like, just so much is happening at the moment. How is it in our lifetimes, this is what's happening, we've got a literal president that kidnapped someone and replaced them in a day. It does not make sense. We've got someone who literally killed so many schoolgirls. Like, what is going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Also, it's good to see that the FIFA World Peace Prize was really well done there. But fantastic work. Really well deserved. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. A very prestigious award, that FIFA World Peace Prize. And if you're having trouble sleeping, Sarah, and I do understand sort of existential state of the world, I can suggest a couple of things. You could listen to some ASMR. That's a good one. You know, just some like relaxing yoga stuff. Or you could. The thing that I find most effective now is I just put a loop on of Matt Goodwin crying after he lost the Gorton and Denton by-election, and I find that really helps settle my soul so that I can sleep at night.
I have to look into that.
Or heroin. Take lots of heroin.
No, you silly goose. Shut up. He's
Turn
so
Left does
annoying.
not endorse this message.
At all. Kevin
We spent
is
all that money on weed. We couldn't afford the heroin.
Exactly. We just put a Vike up the arse. It's all good. Yeah, love it.
Yuri gifted a 10 membership as well, so thank you, Yuri. Let's get to the comments. So I'll try and run through these super duper quickly. So Michael said, some claim that the IDF are the most moral army in the world.
Mad.
Laughable. And it's
Mad.
so insane. Moral. They
Again,
can't even spell
sodomized with a knife. Sodomized with a knife.
Yeah. And it has you have to say it to make people feel uncomfortable. You have to have a visceral reaction to that.
Yeah.
Because I think that like you are human, you are empathetic, like you realize that this sort of thing is wrong, but those people lack so much morality. Like they're not even human.
It's so mad. They had a fucking riot to break people out of jail who were rapists. Like it's rape Wakanda. It's like it's a rapist state.
Yeah, because allegedly a lot of sex criminals flee to Israel because they don't have like extradition policy.
That's I mean, I if you clearly weren't listening to my answer because I literally mentioned that.
Oh,
outrageous.
I don't listen when you talk. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair, and no one does. But literally, a lot of sex criminals, especially pedophiles, fuck off to Israel. Yeah, and Israel's happy to take them because they just want like breeding stock. They don't give a fuck about the quality of the people. It's really grotesque. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and look, you can tell how fucking mental a society it is. Because I call them the Jisraeli Defence Force because it's funny, but they literally have a unit in the IDF that go onto battlefields and extract semen from the testicles of dead soldiers so that they can be used to create more Jewish babies. Like, that's a sick society. Why the fuck would you have that? You're mental. There's something deeply, deeply poisoned at the core of that society that would be okay with that, let alone, promote it as a thing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, probably have less dead soldiers if you stop like invading your neighbours and preemptively striking them.
Also true. Yeah.
Hungry Kitty said it's important to remember there are many, many Jews who are unsettled by what's going on. They should never be conflated with Israel. And we say this every time. I think we say it on every single show that we do not condone the conflation between Jewish people and the Zionist state.
Also, a very interesting point that never gets mentioned in certainly the mainstream media is that the vast majority of the world's Zionists are not Jewish. They're Christian fundamentalists in the United States. Because again, they're not doing it because they like Jewish people. Quite the opposite, in fact. They want to have a messianic biblical prophecy that they have read into the Bible come true, which will bring about Armageddon. And, of course, all Jewish people and non-fundy Christian lunatics will burn in hell for eternity.
Yeah, overwhelmingly all over the world, the sort of majority Jewish position, and I think the most authentically Jewish position, as somebody who's not Jewish but has a lot of Jewish friends, is that they're generally, they have a very strong sense of morality. They are overwhelmingly progressive and overwhelmingly leftists, overwhelmingly socialists, and from what I've sort of like my personal experience, but also that seems to be borne out in the data as well. It's always mentioned that Jewish people are overrepresented in finance and scary things like that. It's never mentioned that they're also overrepresented in social justice movements and education, because that, I think, is where they're the sort of like.
What are they underrepresented in then? Because just statistically, there must be some areas where there's just no Jewish people there. Because because if the loads of them are in this thing and that thing and the other thing, then there must be certain areas of society where there just is a massive underrepresentation of them as well. I don't know.
Yes, well, right-wing movements, presumably, if most of them are they're represented well in progressive movements, generally.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Likud and the various parties of Israel are all pretty right-wing.
True, but as a percentage of the world, they represent a very, very small percentage. So that's just a numbers game, really. But yeah, sorry, Sarah, you said you wanted to get through the comments. And
no, don't be. It's all good. I'm just conscious of time. So Jamie said, in school we never taught that the Nazis also targeted LGBTQ plus people. I feel like they do that now. I don't know if they used to. I don't remember ever being taught that. But I didn't take history at GCSE.
There's loads of groups that you don't even get mentioned. The fact that disabled people were the first people targeted. Black people, honestly, sex workers were put down as mentally ill and executed.
Yeah.
Loads of groups. Yeah.
I feel like now it gets spoken about, but I don't know. Maybe I can only speak for like my circles. But growing up, I don't think we learned about that either. But I also can't. I don't think I'm that credible because I took geography GCSE and not history. And that was boring. Jacqueline said, I know that Jewish people were rightfully given reparations after the horrors of the Holocaust, but were the other marginalised groups like the LGBTQ community and the GRT community also given reparations? And I thought maybe, Cog, you could answer that because you might know.
So it's not really that Jewish people were given reparation as such. There was some attempt by the Germans, obviously, to sort of like correct the history, but it has always been, don't get me wrong, denazification was a process and it was actively happening, but there's things, for example, like the status of the Wehrmacht. The Wehrmacht committed a lot of war crimes, but it was only kind of widely acknowledged in the late 1990s because there was a sort of like a feeling among German society that like, okay, well, the SS, they were the bad ones, right? Whereas the Wehrmacht, the people who you would probably be associated with if you were an average German with somebody, a family member in the military, well, they weren't bad people. They were, they were just part of the regular army. And so a lot of it got covered up.
Yeah, there was a myth that went around in German society called War Without Hate, which was a way of trying to separate out the regular army from, say, like the Waffen-SS or the Einsatzgruppen and groups like that. But yeah, I mean, and in terms of reparations, most Jewish people didn't receive reparations as such. Jewish groups received reparations. The State of Israel, I believe, received money eventually, and there was some attempt at trying to find, like, say, artworks that had been stolen from Jewish families and giving them to the nearest surviving relative and things like that. But by and large, even most Jewish people didn't really receive anything in terms of reparations.
Yeah. And also, by the way, it bears saying that 99.99% of the people who were involved in the administration and carrying out of the Holocaust never received any any pushback for it. Like, obviously they had to hide it afterwards. It wasn't something that they could publicly state unless they were somewhere like Argentina where there were communities of them. But the idea that we sort of like did really well dealing with the Holocaust probably, but the premise of the question aside, I don't think that the LGBT community or the GRT community, disabled people, were given reparations as far as I'm aware, unless reparations can mean many things. You could argue that some of the education amounts to some form of reparation, but it's a bit of a difficult question, to be honest.
It's well answered though. Paul Phillips probably about white people have always been a global minority.
Okay. So when we say minority, okay, we don't mean statistical minority, okay? Because women are globally a very large group, right? the working class as a group, much more numerous than the ruling elite.
I know.
But we talk about the working class as a minority, and we talk about women as a minority because we're talking about groups with a minority of power. That's what the word minority in that circumstance means. It doesn't mean that statistically there are just less of you, right? Because there are statistically less rich people. This doesn't make rich people an oppressed minority. Please don't argue that rich people are an oppressed minority.
I'm sorry, affluenza is a real disease. Okay. I won't have this ableism against the rich. Thank you.
Oh, someone please protect the landlords. So I grew up, Michael said, I grew up in Tower Hamlets of all the awful Muslims who used to have a go at my frail white nan if they caught her going shops alone and carrying bags, and would take them and get her home. How scary. And like, I think everyone's got stories about Muslim people that they know that do great things. Like, I think majority of Muslims that people know aren't bad people. Like, I don't know, this fear mongering that's happening at the moment.
Well, the media are fucked because every time like a Muslim does something bad and gets convicted of it, they'll publicise that to fuck. But the dozen white people that also got convicted of that same thing that same day get nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
The mention in the media as well. Lewis has pointed this out as well.
Yeah.
He's actually gone through it at some point and done like here's what GB News and the Daily Mail reported in terms of like the sexual assaults that took place, and he'll like show all the faces and they'll almost all be brown faces, and then he'll go like, and here's the total number of people, and it's just like a wall of white faces that were convicted in that same time period that the Daily Mail and GB News were just reporting on that one, that one group of like 10 brown or black people. It is the reporting on it, the lack of reporting on it, it shifts our perspective like all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. Lewis does point this out a lot, and I'm glad he does, because media bias is very real. And then Specs kind of just is echoing that, but I think Islamophobia really does sum up Muslim hate pretty well. Most of the time it comes from placing all Muslims in a monolith and not understanding that religions are internally diverse, which is true. And then Rachel said Trump didn't write that. He doesn't know the word forthwith.
You can always tell ones that he's written and ones that someone else has written for him.
Yeah,
like it's intelligible when someone else wrote it. It's still gonna be bullshit, but at least it's like it makes sense. Like the structure of the sentences is correct and things.
Yeah, and then just a few light-hearted ones to end it. I don't know what you said. Did someone say they were going to replace me or something? Because Jacqueline said as long as he doesn't replace Sarah, no one can replace Sarah. Facts. And then Spec said, "Cog could take me down any day."
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Sorry, there were a few. So sorry. I'm so sorry. There were just a few donations given. Say thank you, not really. Rachel Atwood, thank you again. I live in a liberal bubble. When I went to Pennsylvania for the election in 2025, I met real MAGA heads who conflate Trump with Jesus. Frothing mouths. And then Vicky, £5 as well. Thank you so much. I believe many of the LGBT people were put into prison again after being released from the camps.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And that's it, really. That really great show, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, a cheery one to end on.
Yeah.
Love that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's it's one of those ones where there was a lot to cover. I just guess it's the state of the world right now, but there was a lot to cover, and I can't thank you enough, Kevin, especially because I last minute for coming on.
No problem. I'm glad we got White Tea Gang together.
Literally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This wasn't planned. It's so embarrassing when you turn up to a function wearing the same thing. Oh,
yeah,
nightmare.
Literally wearing the same outfit. What are you wearing on your? Actually, I'm not going to ask in case you're not wearing anything.
I was about to say thank you for thinking I had something on underneath. Yeah.
Because I've just got like black jeans on, and if we're wearing totally the same outfit,
I've got black jogging bottoms on. If that helps. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, free feet content there, guys. So
exactly, put it on WikiFeet. Let's go.
WikiFeet. Incredible. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, Kev. And if you want to help us please go to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support, or if you can't help us financially, just share our content, hit like and subscribe. It honestly all helps us grow, and sometimes a share is even more valuable than a monetary donation. It's all about bringing our politics into a new era. So, you've been watching Normal Island, our show that airs live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have a good evening, guys.
Adolf Hitler.
Amazing. Amazon.
Should I end it?
Yeah, I think so.
No, you got so much to live for.
Oh, oh fuck off.
Oh.
Okay, fuck it. Jump then. I don't care.
No, I'm not gonna jump.
What are we in now? Oh, we're in the comments section. Oh god, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, new comments. Oh, this is one that says 3 split, isn't it? Nice. Sorry, just the grin as well.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was really good though, guys. Well done. Really, really, really great show.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, I said we were going to bring you in on the Islamophobia stuff at the end.
Oh,
but
you
we
know
never did,
what?
so-
I actually just wanted to talk about taking COG down. Or what did it? Let's say take COG down any day. I said, yeah, fucking let's. And I don't want to be serious today. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a really long, hard week, I think, for everyone. And like Friday shows are quite hard because obviously you come to the end of the week and then you've got to do a bit more work with Turn Left and Kevin coming in, and Kevin with his jokes that come left, right, and centre. You are just
defending here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Yes, I am going to get going because I actually haven't eaten.
Oh, I ate, but I'm going to go because I want to decompress and I want to watch that Louis Theroux thing. I don't know if anyone's watched it just yet.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of fancy Louis
I haven't
Theroux.
watched it
So.
yet. I do want to watch it.
Hang on, you fancy Louis Theroux? Did you
There's just something quite fit about him. I don't know. I can't describe it.
Honestly,
him
can,
and Mark Ruffalo.
I will just point out. Mark Ruffalo, Anderson.
Basic white men.
And Mahershala Ali, who is a black man that is in Moonlight. He's amazing. And it was in the Green Book. He's really great. Who else do I love? That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's the 3 guys. So, Kevin.
Yes.
By the way, before I go, I want to mention to you, I would absolutely love to do like a question time watch through with you at some point because I know you do the question time, and I want to join you at some point for that if you'd be up for it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I've got no problem with that.
Good fun.
Yeah, we'll do it. Contact me and we'll sort something out.
Yes, we'll get that together. Notice how I asked you in front of your audience, so you can't just go, no, fuck off, I don't like you. And now I've managed to socially pressure you into it.
It's okay, I've got my fingers crossed just off camera, so it's fine.
Yeah, all right, I will catch you.
I'm gonna
in a
go.
little bit.
Okay.
Take care, guys. Love you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I am a naughty little sausage. That is true. I thought Sarah was bi. I mean, she might be. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to speculate though, because that would be ungentlemanly. Does Cog know we know you don't care about your image? Oh yeah, well yeah. With me and Cog have been working together for years. We're all old-timey comrades. Even though honestly, the twink energy is delightful. Ah well. Okay, well I don't think Helena's back yet, so I'm basically I think it's gonna fuck off, which is a shame because I had a fantastic interaction yesterday. Oh god, not yesterday. Sorry, on Wednesday. So I went to the football on Wednesday because I did the early stream and all that. So I got noticed, right? It's such a shame I can't tell this to Helena straight, like to her face, as it were. But I don't know how to describe this other than like dark woke or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I got noticed, right? I got recognised at the football. This guy come up to me and said, "Are you Kevin?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake!" It's like I was thinking, is this a person I went to school with or something? I don't know. And they went, "Oh, I saw you on Turn Left, and then I followed you on I subscribed to you on YouTube." Which was, I was like, oh, okay, cool, please don't stab me. Please, I don't want to get Charlie Kirked at the Tilton end. I just, no, thank you. Anyway, but they were super cool. They were really nice. And if they're watching, by the way, don't take what I'm about to say as like bad or taking the piss out of you or something, because genuinely I enjoyed the interaction. It was lovely. But they said to me, I watched a few of your streams, right? And I saw the thing you did on election night from Manchester with that posh bird. With that posh bird. Referring, of course, to Helena. Now, there are a couple of points. Firstly, problematic use of language. But secondly, nice and woke, because it is trans-inclusive, misogynistic language. Woke is back. It's back, baby. It's back in the strangest fucking way imaginable. She is a bit posh. There's no, yeah, she is. Yeah. And I honestly, I had to stifle a full belly laugh at that. Because I just thought, I don't want him to think, I don't want to be rude to him. But like, what the fuck, man? Fucking legend. Honest to God. Anyway. But anyway, if you do ever see me, like in real life or whatever, by all means come up to me if you like me. If you don't, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not interested. Just leave me alone. I don't want to get killed or fucking physically assaulted, so just leave me alone. Not interested. Fuck yes. Anyway, that little story aside, I'm going to leave. I don't think Helena's back yet, so like... I'm going to end stream because it's finished and that, thank you everyone for joining, for listening and watching and all of that shite. I'll be back probably tomorrow or something. I don't really know. I'd buy you a pint gift. Well, thank you. That's appreciated. Although, of course, as a Muslim, being from Birmingham, naturally, I can't drink alcohol because Birmingham is 100% Muslim. It was on Fox News, so it must be true. There's apparently no one of any worth at all on YouTube right now. So who's going on Twitch that I can send everyone over to? I'll buy you a pint. Well, thank you. Well, you can send me the money and I'll buy my own pint of milk because food is expensive or something. Anyway. Right, okay. Who is going? Looks progressive. I'll send you over to an American. Fuck it. And that let them explain what the fuck is going on, because I don't know. Okay, everyone. Why would it not just be in the fucking list of things? Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to type it in like a fucking troglodyte. Looks progressive, there we go. And I will see you all tomorrow. Stay beautiful. And you are beautiful, chat. I love you. And, yeah. Free Palestine, free Iran, free everything. Free everything. No pass around.